What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and we are talking some Omni X-Men tonight. It is Tuesday, and I'm very excited. I'm always excited on Tuesday when we're talking X-Men, but I'm extra excited because we are back on track with talking about the main title of Uncanny X-Men. We had kind of gone off to the side and talked a little bit about some Marvel fanfare, all because it was part of the Omnibus, the Claremont Omnibus of Volume 2, which is okay. I mean, that's why we're doing this show, right? To go through this Omni, but I'm very excited to get back onto the main title here. So we'll be talking issue 141, and when I say we, I got my co-host with me, John from John's Comics with Kids, doing a dance. John, what is up, my dude?
We're back. We're back. We're back. Even with this bizarre, crappy cover where the X-Men are making a little girl carry all her luggage by herself, we're back. We're back.
Absolutely. And you got that nice ad at the top.
Yep. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, man. It's been I won't say rough, but it's been, I guess as you say, it's rough. It's been a rough past couple weeks.
I think clearly Wolverine feels our pain. I mean, look at he's emotional about it.
Totally.
It's all right. I've been there.
Oh goodness. How you doing, John? How's everything? How's life?
I'm doing well. I was a little sick this weekend, but I'm feeling a lot better now.
Oh, good.
There's a lot of little flu bugs going around with my little kids at work, and you never know what you're gonna get.
I was to say, you were a little off this morning with your Wordle game. I don't know what
oh man. I thought that's bad. It was bad. I'm gonna blame it. I'll blame it on that.
There you go. Now, of course, another reason why I'm very excited for tonight is because we have a special guest with us, as we most times do. And this special guest, he's been a guest of ours before on the show, but we're excited to have him back. It's our good friend Albert from Albert Loves Comics in the house. What is up? There he is.
Hey there.
Jamming out
with my book here. Yes,
nice,
very excited to be here to talk about this amazing story.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, thanks for taking some time, Albert, to hang out with us here. Some Omni X-Men talk.
My pleasure. I'm usually in the audience, so
it's true.
Here, participate in person.
Yes.
I love it.
Absolutely. And I will say, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
I'll say Albert is the guy that I blame for both the fitness strength and the wallet loss for lifting all of these hardcovers, because the guy reads, the guy collects, and he's got an impressive, if you look behind him, collection of hardcovers. It's just keeps expanding. If you're not following Albert on Instagram, TikTok, you name it, he's dropping knowledge, and you'll get a good workout and your wallet will suffer.
You should. I put your links in the description below there, Albert, for sure.
Yeah, it's growing. The collection can't stop growing. Every Tuesday I go to In-Stock Trades and I'm like, what's new? And it's a problem. I have to.
I was gonna say, that's a dangerous website.
Wow,
dangerous website.
I'm like every.
Don't give John
months,
ideas.
I'll
Don't give John ideas.
Yeah, I'm a 2-monther. Like, I'll check in every couple of months. I know. Every week. That
would check. Yeah,
we're clipping this. We're clipping what John just said. A 2-monther, and it's gonna be like 2 weeks later, and he's gonna be like, I'm here again every week now.
My bad.
I love it. Well, yes, we appreciate the inspiration, Albert, with the hardcovers, and certainly a rabbit hole that I'm going down little by little as well. So, and of course we got as I was telling you before, I feel like this is like a Bible study, and we got our massive book here in front of us. So I am, so pumped. So again, if you are not following Albert, make sure you are. For those watching right now, or if you're catching the replay, I put his information in the description below. And you're also going to want to follow this guy, because we also do our shows on each other's channels. So if you're trying to catch up with us for Omni X-Men for 152, it's going to be over on John's channel. And before we go any further, I will also remind people that if you're here right now, hang out with us even after we break down the book, because as always, we have some questions for tonight, some trivia that's based on last issue and last episode. So we'll ask 4 questions altogether, and if you are one of the first 2 to get the correct answer in the chat, you'll get your name submitted for a raffle that we're doing, for several raffles at the end of our season, which is coming up here right at the end of June. So you have a chance to win a mystery box or some beautiful artwork, which I should put up here. Let me throw this up real quick. From Nicholas Lane 77, we have our very own nice little commissioned artwork here for the Omni X-Men that that Nicholas did for us. So thank you to Nick. And you want to get the right answer, one of the two, or we're also looking for funny answers, which we're going to have Albert be the one to decide which of those is the funniest tonight. So you got to play to your audience there on that. With all that being said, let's say a quick hello to the chat. See, we got about 8 people hanging right now. Of course, we got my man Ryan, aka Magic Lasso, hanging out with us. What's going on, Ryan? He's talking to, greeting us all, including Diana Ross and Rachel Dinners, as always, never gets old. He says, now let's talk about Emma Frost's clothes. I wouldn't say she dresses like a hooker, but rather prostitute.
Can we already give him the joke award?
But I was going to say that might be the best thing he's ever contributed to this show.
So great. Well done. Yeah, drop the mic, Ryan. Good to see you, man. Thank you as always for tuning in.
Yourself.
Love it. Let's see. We got Chop and Drop in the house. What's going on, my friend? Yep, he's cracking up at the one-liner as well.
That's gonna stick.
Johnny boy. Yeah. Johnny with the double duty tonight. We got Michelle, Moonlit Comics in the house. What's up, Michelle? Going to be on her channel tomorrow night talking, spotlighting Doctor Strange. So looking forward to that. Thanks for hanging out, Michelle. We got my man Sove Collector in the house. I was just hanging out with him this weekend over at the 3 Minute Basement Comic Swap. Good to see you, Michael. Thanks for stopping in. Perry, Station Perry. Hola to you, my friend. Let's see. The Jackson Roy Kirk always hanging out with us as well. We appreciate you. He says, even though fanfare wasn't too good, at least all X stories are included. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, that's the benefit of these Claremont Omnis is anything he's writing that coincides with this main story, they're including a lot of that stuff. It's so cool.
Totally. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, exactly. Bible study. Yes, for sure.
It's a religious experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Michelle, you could get your name on the giveaways. I don't know if we have you on there yet, but if you answer some questions tonight,
just stick around.
You could get your name on there. We got Brother John Comics in the house. What's going on, Brother John? Thanks for stopping by as well. We got a lot of laughter in the chat, which I always love and appreciate. So keep it going, and smash that like button too while you're hanging out with us here. So all right, we are. Let's dive right into this issue 151, which I have the cover and everything there. But before we get into all the details, John, I want to ask you first. What were your general thoughts of this issue, and how would you grade it?
So I haven't read this one in a while, but it might just be finishing Marvel Fanfare. But I came out so giddy. I finished that first issue since Marvel Fanfare, and I was just like, "Oh, baby!" It's like a hug from your lady at the end of a long day. Like it just was like
a fresher breath air. Yeah.
Oh, it was just. I felt so good. So this book got really high marks from me. I would probably give this a 9.5, maybe a 9 out of 10. The only thing probably keeping it a 9 is the artwork. This is art by committee. There's three artists named here as far as I remember. So like the art and the cover obviously are pulling it down a little for me, but I was giddy, man. Hellfire Club and Sentinels and Storm plays a big part. Like you're checking all the boxes, Marvel. You got your guy. You know your guy. So I was very, very pleased with this book.
Awesome. I love it. Albert, what about you? What were your initial thoughts here, and how would you grade the book?
Very similar. I thought this was a nice, because I've been following your videos with the other ones, and I was like, okay, hopefully this is better.
Something better, yeah.
It was way better. It was actually like a very well told story. I thought that there was many parts where I was like, oh, like I know what's gonna happen, but this is still pretty like I'm excited to see it, I enjoyed it. The art, I definitely noticed there was one part where the lettering was just completely different.
Right.
And I was like, oh, like this is an interesting creative choice. But I think the first thing that came to me was 9. So just because I actually really enjoyed it. I'm reading a lot of modern stuff, and this felt kind of similar, like in many ways. So this is good.
Love it. Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think we have 9s across the board for tonight because I felt very similar. totally enjoyed this issue. I did not have any issues with it other than, as you pointed out, there were some artwork that was kind of wonky compared to other. It wasn't like consistent, and there are some parts I really enjoyed as well. So yeah, like I said, just not fully consistent. But as far as the story goes, very exciting, very epic, a lot of action as it picks up there towards the end, especially. And so yeah, I'm excited. And like you guys said, I mean, I do think maybe it plays a part as like maybe I have to reread this again at some point, separate from after just coming off of a 4-week Marvel fanfare, run, and see how that goes. Because it's like it felt like we were drinking like Coors Light, and then we switched over to like a fancy beer. And you know how that is.
It's like when you've been camping, right? You're camping, you've been sleeping on the ground, and that first night back in your bed is like,
yes, it's the best. Yeah,
it's amazing. Is my bed just amazing, or has it just been so long?
I agree. So yeah, let's get into some of the covers here. Oh, and a quick hello to my man Paul. Back-to-back issues in the house. We're just hanging out with him this weekend too over at the Swap. Always good to hang out with Paul.
He was just with Morbius doing another great show over there. So
nice.
Keep it up, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Ryan says John won't give it a 10 because he didn't win the 10 speed.
I want the bike.
See?
Give me my bike.
Yeah. Brother John loved this cover. So let's get into this cover here. And let me bring this up. And also a quick hello to Jamie J Hood Creative in the house. What's going on, J Hood? So yes, John, you had mentioned a little bit about this cover. Tell us how you feel about this cover. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know that there's enough words. I don't know how you have a book with Storm playing a huge part, with Emma Frost all through it, with Sentinels, and this is the cover you go with? I don't get it. I don't get it. Also, Colossus, you're like incredibly strong. You care about this girl. You can't carry her bag to the car. Like she's crying, and look at it. She's clearly lumbering and dragging this. Come on, man. Like, sack up. Like, get off your horse. Like, what? And the teleporter can't help with that.
Right.
Just hold the bag, zip to the car, and drop it. Like, people need to up their
They're
game.
Rude. Very rude.
I get that the guy in the wheelchair is not helping, but like, come on, the rest of you, no excuses. Play like a champion.
Brutal. All right, so John loved the cover. That's what I took from that. What about you, Albert? What was your thought of this cover? How did you feel about it?
I think it's a great cover. I think there's a lot of purple in that corner. I wish it could have been like a little bit more texture on there,
Yeah.
But I'm being, I thought it was good. I didn't think about the Sentinels not being there. That seems like an easy, like an easy win right there. You're right. And Emma Frost. That's another one, because I honestly, reading it, I was surprised when I saw the Sentinels in Emma Frost. I was like, oh, cool.
Totally.
This book is bigger than the cover is showing.
But I mean, I get what you're
Great
saying
point.
too. Like, sometimes it's nice to hold something back to surprise your reader. I get that side too. We have a celebrity in the chat. I don't know if Justin's noticed him or not, or maybe he's just like, it's just dad. But like, celebrity in the chat.
I already talked to Lasso. Hey, all right, we'll say hi to Lasso again. Hey, Ryan, how you doing? oh, what's up, Dad?
Cheers to you, sir.
Hanging out in the chat, and also Jackson Roy Kirk says, Xavier, Kitty, I noticed all the silverware.
That explains why the case is so heavy.
John needs to wait for the next issue for all that. There you go.
Maybe.
Some great comments here. So says Kirk can't help because he's being
look at him. Look at him. He's posing.
He's very
Even his tail's twirled around the pole.
Wolverine's almost not there. He's like, I'm here. I'm in the back. I'm hiding behind those other guys.
So I mean, overall, like John, I love all the call outs that you have here because you make some really strong points. I don't necessarily hate the cover, and I don't love it either. I guess it's just kind of, I think it was ultimately a missed opportunity. I do like, Albert, what you mentioned, that it does hide a lot, but I still think they could have given something minor, to kind of show up here. At least Emma Frost, right?
They should have shown the lake
like that
on the side with like a sentinel creeping over, just like, hey,
lurking
there
in the background.
Totally.
Bobby makes a good point about her. They haven't touched on her heritage. And the Star of David, they haven't touched on the idea that she's Jewish or that her family is Jewish. So like having that as just like a little piece there, that's kind of cool.
True. Good point.
I did not notice that.
Good to see you, Bobby. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right, so let's get into some of this here. We're going to kick it off. X-1 as the title. And we open up with kind of a sad scene where Professor X is explaining to the rest of the team that he just got this letter, and the letter is from Kitty's parents, and that they're asking her to go to this other school. What was it? Did they have the name of the school? I forget they put that in here. The School of
Hard Knocks.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I thought it was somewhere. But anyways, so she's obviously not happy about it. She doesn't want to go to this regular school, and she's obviously having a blast being part of the X-Men team and everything that stands for. I love that, right away as he's reading this and explaining everything, she just runs out. And when she runs out, she runs through Scott. And then through the doorway and everything else, which I think it just, obviously very fitting for her abilities and whatnot.
It's the Massachusetts Academy. The one that's kind of, we learn later, may have some darker background.
Gotcha. So she's not happy at all. What were your guys' initial thoughts of kind of just this opening scene and kind of the mood that was set here? John, I'll start with you first.
I mean, how often do we get X-Men in their bathing suits? Often is the correct answer. Like, it's often. They have a giant pool. They live in a mansion. Like, it's going to go down. So here we are yet again. Everybody, except for Wolverine, who it's hard to tell when he's wearing a bathing suit or not because he's a pretty hairy guy. But and Cyclops, really the only two. Yeah, you're right. It starts with the drama. It starts with the intensity of the story, which is that one of the X-Men is being forced to leave. And that's powerful stuff. I do agree that they hit the drama right off the bat.
Yep.
This is a very uneven bit of artwork. In fact, I would say you have 4 completely different variations on Xavier's head. Like, the guy looks different panel to panel to panel to panel. It's almost like somebody's standing with the lighting and like moving it around the whole time, so that he's just like shadow, no shadow, no shadow. Really, really intense. And then I still like the fact that the focus is the characters, the focus is what they're going through, but the art is somewhat disorienting.
Fair. That's fair. Albert, what about you? What were your initial thoughts to this opening scene here?
Two things. I think the image looks like Xavier doesn't have any feet. It's like a little curve there. I forgot he doesn't have feet, right? And then the second thing, the parents are pulling her out from the school because they don't think she has enough people her age.
Right.
And I'm like, absolutely. Yes. Oh my God. All these guys, she's in a bikini and there's a bunch of like 18 and older men in that room. Sure. I would 100% feel the same way. Like, get this girl out of this school. What is going on? And obviously, like the parents don't even know how dangerous her whole life is.
Yeah, true.
I think 100% I was with the parents. I was like, yes, get this girl out of the school. Absolutely. And I mean, look at Colossus in the corner. This guy's basically naked. This is
and he's clearly scoping on her, as he has been kind of for a while now. And he's, as we discussed, inappropriately old for that.
Oh yeah.
So the last time I was here on the show, it was the first time they kissed. It was like a kiss in the cheek or something like that.
And now we're at the next time right now.
Yeah. And we talked about how inappropriate it was. So this was just another one where I was like, because that was fresh in my mind. I'm like, this is inappropriate.
Yep. One other thing to note here is some of the back and forth that Logan and Professor X have here, where they're he's Wolverine is basically like, hey, Petey, can you just have them, erase their mind and agree with, them wanting to, having her stay or whatever. And he kind of stands his ground here and says like, we shouldn't be doing that, or else, I'm no better than the enemies that we fight, trying to mess up their minds or whatever. Would you guys have any thoughts with that too? I meant to ask anything that kind of goes along with that.
It's a retcon. For those that know and have read early X-Men issues, Xavier's moral line was very vague, very, very, very great. He was misusing and abusing his powers, and they weren't sure if he was teacher or a teammate or family. I mean, he even had issues where he was talking about how he was attracted to Jean Grey. That's how like uneven Xavier's written in those first 100 issues or so. Right. So this was clearly Claremont's attempt to sort of retcon him and say like, he's learned. He's not the same guy he was in those issues and like evolve the character. So I appreciate that line because it's basically pointing out the character's evolution and trying to get away from some of the more questionable moves he had in those,
some of the decisions he's made.
80 or whatever issues.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Roy Kirk says, finally, Kitty's gone. Oh, did I
get out of my chat? Get out of my chat.
That's not cool, Roy Kirk. What's up, Mark? Thanks for stopping in here.
You just lost 2 raffle tickets.
Delete. All right, let's keep this going here. So yeah, I wanted to show off some of these just closer scenes because I like that they're able to, like, again, just kind of show some of Kitty's abilities. She's starting to learn how to use them. Not only is she going through walls, but like she's floating upward. We learned that in the last couple of issues from the regular series, where she can kind of walk on, molecules, I guess would be the correct term for that. So again, just very upset as she runs to her room. And then we get some scenes here where Storm goes and checks in on her. Now, Storm's been somebody who has kind of been like a mother to Kitty Pryde, and I think it's even mentioned that here in some of these panels. And so she clearly cares for her, and this is her checking in on her. And as she does, Kitty immediately like springs out of bed and it's just like, look, did you know that this was going on? And she looks up the details of this school and who runs it. And John, to your point from before, you were hinting towards was we find out here that it's Emma Frost who's actually in charge of this school. She runs this place. And so immediately as we go into this next page, we kind of get this flashback of all the kind of the bad times that Storm can recall versing or going up against Emma Frost and how dangerous she is, being with the Hellfire Club and everything else. So she's definitely having some, kind of second thoughts on what's going on here and trying to get an understanding. But at the same time, she's hoping that it's not the case. Any thoughts here, Albert? I'll throw it to you first in some of this mix up here.
I was impressed that she has a computer in her room. And that was just like in the 80s. Nice. And then also I'm thinking more about the parents. If the parents found out that the headmaster of the school, the person running the school, is a violent psychopath, they probably wouldn't support it. Yet Professor X is like, let's just trust the parents. I'm like, you're not being fair. And I get this is kind of like to move the plot. They have to make it an interesting story.
Yeah.
This seemed completely unreasonable to me because I was like, Kitty, like this is gold information right here. Did you not tell the rest of the team? Like,
yeah, should have mentioned it to a few other people, perhaps. John, what are your thoughts with some of this?
No, Albert's totally spot on. There's some very uneven parenting going on, both from the Xavier side and the actual parent side. And it makes you wonder what's controlling them or who's controlling them. Later on, Xavier's like, no, we didn't scan. It's them. They're making this choice. I kind of feel like they missed an opportunity to kind of lay some groundwork. Xavier feeling like, I want her to go there because I need somebody to spy on Emma. There's a lot of ways it could have been kind of woven in. Also, we got a horrible drawing of Storm's face down there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I can't even look at it. Like it's hurting me to look at.
Not great.
And hello to Mark McKetty Sark. Thank you for coming by, good sir. I hope things are going well down under.
Yes.
And another great example of speedy, quick backstory. Let me just give 3 panels, a little bit of info, and boom, you guys caught up on the Hellfire Saga, and now we're back into this story. And also, hey, a great drawing that you chose of Emma.
And it's impressive. It's impressive. You did it so quickly. Like 1, 2, 3, and then you're good. You're in.
Oh yeah. Well, talking about some of the artwork here. So going to this next panel or set of panels, still kind of in this room here at the moment next to me here. Storm kind of one, she's like shaking Kitty Pryde, trying to re-explain her and say, maybe this is for the better. People change. She's trying to kind of give her this wisdom that she's learned over the years and having this flashback with her own parents, and again kind of getting a little origin story of Storms. And I mean, we've known before, but just kind of how they died and stuff. One thing I wanted to point out with the artwork though right here is that the Kitty Pryde drawn right here is very different than the rest of the series, I felt. And this one in particular I actually liked more, and it actually reminded me of Michael what's his name, Golden, who his style from that first issue that we had read, or I'm sorry, was it? Or no, not Marvel Fanfare, but it was Michael Golden from.
He did do some of the Marvel Fanfares. Yeah, he did some of the Marvel Fanfare stuff too.
But when he drew Kitty in that Avengers 10, that's what this particularly reminded me of. I wish we got more of that because I thought that was more accurate to making Kitty look like this child as opposed to. I mean, I feel like she just looks older and a lot of this other stuff.
Right.
But anyway, so they have this heartfelt scene here. And then meanwhile, it kind of flashes forward. You see the rest of the team down at the bottom next to Albert, where everybody's kind of saying their goodbyes. This is where, as John, you mentioned, Professor X does do like a light scan of the parents just to make sure that they're not under some spell of any sort and that they are making this decision.
Even though we don't really see them anywhere, I don't know.
No, yeah, he
how and when the scan occurs.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not like they're driving that car, as we learned in a little bit here. So
right. Yeah, they're not there. And then of course we get some goodbye kisses, including other types of kisses from Colossus and Kitty Pryde there down at the bottom, which we were just as we were mentioned before, some inappropriateness as their ages are a bit of a stretch for sure. Any thoughts here, Albert? I'll throw it your way first.
It's inappropriate, but at the same, I think for the story's sake, I'm just gonna assume like, hey, okay, like I try to dismiss it and just be like, okay, like maybe it was just because like you were saying before, the interpretation of the artist is always that she's older. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought this was interesting. The panel where Storm is talking about how she saw her parents die when she was 4 years old. I was completely just like, I was so interested in that. And then there was no other panel. And I was like, damn, like I really wanted to know.
That's all you got. Yeah. Yep. John, anything to add there for this?
I think these 2 pages or however you want to break it down are perfect examples of how the artists and writers couldn't decide on consistency with this character, Kitty. Like sometimes they write her or draw her really, really young, to your point, like that drawing right up here. Other times they mature her and they draw her in a very different way and they write her in a very different way. And I feel like that inconsistency is what is the real problem at the root here. If they had just kind of settled on something and let it play out, I think it would have been more functional to the story. And so that as a result, you have this inconsistency, much like the art in this issue. Other than that, though, I totally agree with Albert. That moment where you get that Storm flashback, powerful stuff. Of course, we want more. We've had a taste of it. I don't know that we've ever seen like the full story at this point, but we have had a little bit of it in other issues. And this is the sad goodbye. Yeah, of course, this character that we've had for since 129, so we're at 151. So we've had for a number of issues now, 22 issues.
Yeah,
it's definitely sad to see her saying goodbye.
Totally. I'm with you there. And then also moving forward here with the final goodbyes here. Of course, she's expecting Storm and she wasn't there initially, but shows her up in her room kind of thinking about everything that's been going on. She decides that Storm comes flying down and goes to she wants to drive her herself just to kind of be part of the goodbye and their relationship being much more special as that kind of mother-daughter connection. So we see her driving off as the rest of them leave, and then we get to the school. They're immediately dropped off. Kitty goes with one of the teachers there who's been, welcome, Catherine. We've been expecting you, and kind of takes her off to this other room to give her like a bit of a tour. Meanwhile, Storm stays up front, and she immediately or runs into our lady Emma Frost here, which I love how she just says, perhaps Wolverine was right. We should have done anything to prevent this. And she just comes in and says, that's right, Aurora. You should have. Emma Frost.
Because she's reading her mind. And this is a great way to not have to explain all her powers, but to just show it in one panel. She's got her thoughts, and Emma's like, I know exactly what you're thinking. I got you.
Yeah. Which I feel like is opposite of what we've been getting throughout this era of where they overly explain certain things, So it is nice to kind of get that cut to the chase. And then, of course, I like how I show this one panel on the far side over there where it's just, lights flashing through the window. And all you get is kind of the idea of, okay, something happened. They went at it. We don't know what, but that's all we get from the story. And I like that. I like that they just gave us that tiny bit and didn't go into any other details other than, light flares, star bright in the room, yada, yada. And they kind of go from there.
I mean, I know Albert wants to say stuff too, but can I just say that panel does not show light flares. That panel is freaking boring. Is that an architectural design? Where's the light flare? Like, come on.
Yeah, they could have done a better job.
As much as I do like what you're saying, where they keep a secret from us.
Yeah,
like give me something in that shot. Like that's such a tiny little panel, and it's just nothing. And there's no
Yeah,
light, there's no blasts, there's no energy. There's just
that's true. It's much smaller than what I've blown this up for.
They do give you the Dutch tilt. They give you like the angle.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, like Batman. Sorry. That was one critique of that panel was like
a little dry.
If
you can't say there's a light flare and then not show me the light flare.
True.
If the words weren't there, then you'd have no idea.
Right.
Like, oh, that's a nice house.
just an evening of someone living there.
I think that that's like, this is good storytelling, right? Like giving you just enough to keep you engaged. Like, I want to know what happened here. Right. So like, gotta go to the next page. And like, that's all I'm ever asking for with like just engagement. Keep me hooked. You know?
Yep. I'm with you. Hey, we got Gore Vidal in the house. What's going on? Gore says the X-Men relationships like those in Teen Titan at the time were fascinating, including those of Katya, Kitty Pryde, and Peter. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm with you for sure. Like I like how they led this in, and you're right. So as we go into this next slide, we just kind of go right into some of this, right? So we see Kitty Pryde return. Nothing happens. We don't know what happened with Emma Frost, and it just kind of continues. Storm here just acting normal, asking everything's okay. And then that's kind of it. They give their last hugs, they say their goodbyes. Storm drives off. And of course, as she drives off, she kind of randomly pulls off to the side of the road there. She has this like evil smirk about her, right? Yeah. And then out of nowhere, she just starts to like let loose. And electrics everywhere, storms all up in the sky, and she's just like, it's as if she's never done it before. And that's where obviously we get this whole backstory that this is in fact Emma Frost. Somehow this is who we're looking at here, is Emma Frost in Storm's body. And then we get like the phone call up at the top, and sure enough, it is the Hellfire Club here that's all involved. Sebastian Shaw there, and yeah, it's just all evilness. This should have had a Dr. Evil theme here. That evil laugh with her, her phone there at the end. Yeah, very menacing. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this was definitely like a bit of a curveball, as we're going forward. And again, still kind of questioning, like, wait a sec, so it's not Storm, so it looks like Storm, but it's not her. So what's going on? So I like that they kind of continue to leave us asking these questions, even though this part's, pretty apparent. Albert, I'll start with you here. What were your thoughts here?
I just thought this was so much fun. I mean, everyone kind of just imagines what it would be like to have these powers. And that's what we're reading. Someone just going nuts and like taking full advantage and then getting in the car and just like in complete bliss. Like that's we all love Storm, and Emma Frost is we're vicariously living through her. So this is
totally,
I thought this was awesome. This was a lot of fun.
Well said. What about you, John? Would you be going crazy if you had Storm's power for a moment and just?
I mean, be an Omega level mutant for a day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if I was in Storm's body, I'd have a whole other set of problems going on. But like sure. Emma, I love how shout out to the art in these panels, because not only do you get great like energy happening all across these, but the face is just creepy and sinister enough to feel like it's not Storm. Right? It feels like somebody else. And that's, I mean, maybe it's just uneven artwork in general, but it does give a sense of creepy. Because we talked about the draw, at least I mentioned the drawing earlier of Storm, but then I was like, that doesn't really look like Storm. Now that whole thing works. Like the fact that it's not looking like Storm works in the, like Bobby says, the Freaky Friday kind of way.
Yeah, totally Freaky Friday there, Bobby.
And her outfit changed also, like
like shreds, right?
But even after that she's wearing the Emma Frost, like
the fur,
the white
fur. Like, that's cool.
She's got like a cigarette or whatever.
That's what Lasso says. I love how he put the fur wrapped around her.
Oh yeah, totally her. She says, I have work to do.
And a cigarette.
To Shaw.
Because Dawn smokes cigarettes.
Now, as a brief recap, like the last time we saw Sebastian Shaw was the Dark Phoenix saga, right? I mean, there was nothing since then that we've really, and thinking back to kind of how that ended, I remember we saw Shaw in a very important meeting that kind of was hinting towards other things in the future. So for those wondering, or following along and kind of wondering when we were going to pick up with some of that story, that looks like some of this is starting to kind of reconnect now. Because I like that they sprinkled that, but then they went kind of away from it for a while. So good to see that Shaw is back, that evil guy. So moving on here, we get this crew here, some of Emma's Well, I'm trying to think of what this guy reminds me of, or who he reminds me of. Does anything come to mind to you, John? It's like it reminds me of like a TV show, like a
Archer.
I don't know.
Like
Oh
Archer.
yeah, I could see that. That works totally. And especially like he's hitting on a girl, like all this stuff.
Yeah,
it totally
I love
fits
it.
in it. So I was cracking up. I really like this scene because it had like kind of horror vibes to it in a way. You know, if you add some like horror or darker music to this, as Emma laying on the floor here, discovering, flicking the light on, thinking it's Storm or that she's herself and not, right? So this is those two. Again, if you didn't read these two are just kind of Emma's guards that are watching, and Emma is locked up, or Emma's body is locked up and on the floor there next to Albert. And she's waking up and talking to herself, and it's Storm's mind that's, thinking to herself, and she's like trying to figure out where she's at, what just happened to her, and why she feels strange, and she can't feel her same powers as she normally feels within herself. And so she goes and turns the switch on, and that's where she discovers that she has in fact done a Freaky Friday kind of swap, as Bobby had mentioned before. So seeing that she's in Emma's body here, so this was definitely wild. John, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, the two drawings of Archer there look like he's a broken action figure. Like one, it looks like his head's all spun around backwards. The other looks like he's like posing. He's like, yeah, check out my back. I whipped out my back last week. Like very awkward poses. She is like wonderfully disinterested. She's just like, oh God, this guy, I got to work with him again. Yeah. So there's a lot of good comedy stuff going on there that I really enjoy. But then the reveal, I like the way the reveal happens, where we're realizing what it would be like for Storm to go through this. And it's it's really well laid out. Like you said, the great horror vibes, I think really cool.
For sure. Ooh, Ryan says it reminded him of Banshee. I could see that a little bit. The gold hair there. Yeah. put a pipe in him, Albert, what'd you think of this?
No, this was a great reveal. I if I was Storm, I'd be a little disappointed.
Yeah. It's like, is it
definitely a downgrade?
Is it a downgrade? Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Hey, we got Manny Reads Comics in the house. What's going on, Manny? Good to see you, man. All right, so let's keep it going here. Jumping into this scene, this is interesting. I thought that I recognized this somewhere. This beautiful homage to Little Mermaid. I thought this was fantastic. I said I seen this scene somewhere, and so yeah, there it is.
Kiss the girl.
Yeah. So next time you guys read this, go and play that music while you read this scene, and it'll just tie back in perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. So we get a kind of a in the meantime, or meanwhile, kind of flash forward here. We see Nightcrawler with his lady friend, who we've met in some of the more recent stuff with.
Let's give Amanda Sefton her credit here. So this character, for those that haven't been following along, we've seen her on, I want to say 3 or 4 different dates with Nightcrawler. She's been kidnapped 3 or 4 times.
She's been to Murder World, man.
She's been to Murder World. She's been captured and tortured and put to the chair several times. She's still dating the guy. Like, I think this is a keeper. I don't know how this lady is not still his lady at this point. Like, she's cool with the ears, the tail, the blue skin. She's cool with the German accent. She's cool with the dangerous life. She's here for the long haul. This is a girl you keep this one.
Yep, I'm with you.
Don't throw this one back.
No, definitely not.
Did she kiss him in other comic books or in other issues?
I think this is the first kiss. But
this might be the first. Yeah.
This felt random for me. It felt like out of nowhere. Just like,
Nightcrawler's here. He's got a girlfriend.
Like, threw it in, and it's fun that they do that sometimes. Like they throw little updates every now and then, like the story thing that was like random. But it felt a little random for me. Yeah,
that's fair. I think the last time I think we saw her was with Doctor Strange, right? When we read that King Size Annual.
Yes.
Which was really a lot. She played a much larger role in that issue. So I do like that there are little check-ins and just like almost like a reminder of like, for those who have read the Doctor Strange thing, especially at this time, I picture it coming out of this era, it is a nice little like, oh yeah, I remember that, just a little connection, but it is random though, otherwise for sure. By the way, we got 62 Lefty Blues hanging out with us tonight. What's going on, 62? And Damien, Sleepy Reader 666. What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out with us here. Jackson Roy Kirk says Amanda and Kurt grew up together, so I guess she's used to the fur. Yeah,
she's into it.
Yeah, she's into it.
Magic Lasso said, so who's the person who cuts a hole in Kurt's jeans to accommodate his tail?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's him.
Wolverine.
It's Wolverine.
Come here, bub.
I love it. You do my hey. We know that he's got tailoring skills. We've seen him create an entire costume in the Savage Lands, and he knows what he's doing. So I wouldn't say that's entirely possible.
Your pants are too tight.
That's very true. He's like, you get me beer and I'll fix your pants for you.
He is cheap that way.
Yeah. And then boom, out of nowhere, we get a bunch of crazy things happening as the team they get flipped around. Kurt gets knocked out and is on the ground already. And we kind of, I mean, this was like definitely, I didn't know how this was going to, kind of come out, but we get the pink and purple robots, as you see on the far side there, as they chase Amanda. And then one gets shot by Cyclops. And I liked some of the storytelling here. Wolverine comes running and Amanda's like, how did you guys know? Like, she's explaining basically to Wolverine. He's like, we already know. Like, and he basically explains how they're already hit the heads up, right? Thanks to Professor X, explaining kind of those abilities and giving the team the heads up. And obviously Cyclops already putting in work and all this other stuff. So I do like that they kind of touched on that as like, this is how the X-Men operate, that there's always kind of this communication to some degree, and perfect for these scenarios where, they can kind of, help each other out. But yeah, this is where the action really picks up here. So, and actually I'm going to flip to this next one, then I'll get your thoughts.
Yet. I mean,
go ahead.
I love these panels.
Oh yeah.
The pink and purple robots show up. John is all in.
It's true.
And
yeah.
I love the reveal, which is like bits and pieces. I love the blast from Cyclops. I love that you don't see him hit the lake, but you see this wave just completely cover Amanda. Soaked by the wave. And I love Wolverine's like, she's on a run. I'm getting the elf. And just like runs off with the guy. And it's like, lady, move your buns. Like, I love this whole sequence. There's so many layers going on here. I dig them all. And
totally.
I appreciate Sove Collector right now, because it's just like in Dungeons and Dragons, when somebody does or says something really amazing, the dungeon master can give you a point of inspiration, and there it is, right there. You just got a point of inspiration.
There you go. So good. Very nice. Albert, any thoughts here with this?
I just think it's like if you think about the story in general, it's the swap, right? That's the crowd. That's the whole thing, really.
Yeah.
And they threw an action scene that didn't feel like forced and kind of just like, it was very fun. And then you see the X-Men get like show off their skills, which I think for a reader, that's just like, that's kind of what you just want every time. You want to see Cyclops shoot, you want to see Wolverine, and like, all that stuff. So I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yep, I'm with you. Ryan's Cyclops hit the Sentinel right in his toolbox. Technically did in that beam there.
No, like
that's accurate. And then we get the attack of the robots coming through here, and Sebastian Shaw having his own little call center, essentially, is what it looked like here. So I threw those pictures in.
Yes,
so yeah, it's just showing him, obviously Shaw is behind. This is his big evil plan that they've kind of put together, and again, stemming from what we learned from the Dark Phoenix saga, we get these Sentinels that are coming out of the water like nothing here, and starting to attack the team, and we get a lot more action. We get Peter. I don't know why my mind just went blank, but we get Peter jumping in here with the action as well, grabbing the tentacles, I guess, of one of them shooting
tentacles. Like they're little.
I don't know what it was. What was he was shooting at for? Because they were grabbing Amanda. That's what it was. And then and then Wolverine slices him off or whatever, and then he grabs him and kind of and then into this next scene kind of throws them. And they're all just throwing down here. Each of them are throwing down here, and again we get a lot more scenes here with the pink and purple robots, which I absolutely love. Let's hear some of your thoughts on some of the, I had to do the Cyclops getting pounded in there, and it just stuck afterwards. So that's kind of what I pictured. Albert, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on some of these duel scenes here?
It's similar, just like there was a lot of action, and like I think that's what you want when you're reading X-Men, and they threw it in. And I love that Storm is coming in just super casual, like, oh. Yeah. Whoops! There's a big fight going on. I guess I should get involved.
Perhaps I can be of assistance.
And actually, that's a good point too. The thing with Storm here, she's actually kind of annoyed that Shaw has kind of started this battle already, and that was some friction that we saw from the Hellfire Club in the past, where they didn't all agree, and they if anything, like always kind of bet on proving each other wrong. And like, when I bet if you fail, then this is on me and I'll do it or whatever. Like they were never like, which obviously they're just a bunch of, they're evil. They're all evil. So they're not even supportive to each other, which I guess in a way kind of fits themselves, right? To not be a team. So, but yeah, that was just something to kind of point out. She's like, all right, fine. He wants to start. And so she jumps in with this. John, what were your thoughts on some of this?
I do love that the Hellfire Club have their ladies. It's very Goldfinger, gold member, right?
Yeah.
They all wear the same uniform, but the executives apparently have to wear lingerie, like the new Black Queen. She's like,
right.
I gotta stand around in this. All the other ladies gotta wear get to wear the onesie. It's fine, whatever. But yeah, I love it. I love the exciting. And the next panel is the one that's like, dang, yes, this is the winner, the splash page. I dig it. It's just great action. Give me more purple robots. I love it all day.
Yep. And I'll jump right into this. Sorry. It's this first part here. Where I just
forgot the armory.
Yeah. Just love this scene here. Yep. Out of nowhere, Kurt gets all these boxes of
plastique. It's plastic. It's
yeah.
C4. He's got they have AK-47s and plastique.
Yep.
Or sorry, that was M14s, right?
Yeah, they're just missing Moira now. They're just missing Moira.
So
so he's like,
hello to Kenneth Bird. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Wolverine and Amanda, they kind of run off, and Kurt's like, go ahead, I'm gonna go take care of this stuff here. He finds these boxes here, and then we get the really awesome splash pages.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so cool to see him bamfing from one leg to the next leg to the next and just planting all these bombs everywhere to take out everyone. I mean, Nightcrawler was a champion here. He really stepped up. So this whole scene that we're looking at on this side is really cool. The way they showed him again, just bamfing from leg to leg, and then them all going off all within like a minute, right? I think they even say like it's within a minute time or whatever, or 9 minutes, and he sets the detonators for 10 or whatever, and he just does
10
it all
seconds.
quickly. Or seconds, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I love the detail and explanation with that. And then of course on the far end there, we get like one more that's like kind of alive, I guess, one of the robots, and Storm comes in and just like completely blows it up. But when doing so, puts the rest of the team at risk.
Almost electrocutes them.
And everybody goes flying, and they're like, meanwhile, I should have put the Winnie the Pooh thing on this page actually, because this is where Colossus is really trying to like get out of the floor there, by the way. So
Storm like floating through the panels where she's in
so
both
great.
I love it.
Yes, the panel layout here was exceptional for sure.
So
just immediately they're just like, Amanda's like, why did you attack so carelessly, Storm? The robot was crippled and we could have found a safer way to destroy it. Like it's definitely not like Storm, right? To just come in and do something like that.
It's not even like Cyclops or Wolverine. It's the like girlfriend.
It's like
she's like, guys, I've been on enough of these missions now.
Like this was just sloppy.
Like,
this was sloppy.
Seriously.
I know your power set, Storm. It's a little
do better.
Definitely do better. Yeah.
I love that it's her. Like it's not even Xavier.
Yep. Good point. Sleepy. Yep, we agree.
I really like that Nightcrawler is now like really like his skill set is now developing, because before this I feel like you didn't really see him know what his skill set was, you know. And I just finished reading like it was like a year ago, but Uncanny X-Force, and Nightcrawler was a savage. Like he was doing wild stuff. And he's still not there yet. So this is probably the most advanced I've seen him with, like, I'm going to kill a bunch of Sentinels single-handedly.
Yeah. Good point. And it does go right into some of the explanation here where she tries to kind of cover it up. She says she's sorry. She just saw that they were in peril. So she thought she would help. This was the thing that really got me, was that she says to Colossus, the danger is over now. Colossus, you can turn human again. Like when was there ever a time that Storm ever said those words to Colossus and said, you could turn human now? Like that, like even as Emma Frost, like Emma using those words, you can turn human now. It just seems so childlike to like explain that part, as opposed to, I don't know, just something more of a casual way to say that. I don't know. It's just like turned human. That really stood out to me. And he just says, yeah, as you wish. And immediately Storm turns because we know that it's Emma. And she takes them all out, and the one like kind of shock on both ends. You see her hands going everywhere and the whole team's out. I think Wolverine was already knocked out right from her initial bolt that kind of knocked him out. So yeah, all downhill from there. Yes, that's good.
I usually never notice this, but like the lettering is completely different.
It's
like
totally different. I literally flipped back when I got to this page.
Same.
I was like,
what
happened?
Yeah, like did I jump a whole issue?
So for those that don't know, there's 3 artists who get credit for this issue,
right?
And this is where the lettering totally transitioned. Like I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and it was Jim Sherman, Bob McLeod, and Joseph Rubinstein.
Yeah, Rubinstein. Yeah.
So from here we moving on with the plan here. We get the flashback of Emma, which is really Storm, and she's trying to remember back to how she was, able to pick locks, and so luckily she's like fiddling with the one lock. She's just about able to do it, but then she immediately collapses. And is in a lot of pain as the rest of the team kind of come in. We do learn the people's names here. Janet, by the way, Janet, that cry. I heard it. Harvey,
is this our first female Hellfire minion?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this true first? I think this is true first of Janet.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, true first.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like it's a clearly female, female Hellfire minion. I'm saying
first full.
Something new. Wolverine killed a ton of those guys in 133. For those that don't remember,
that's true.
But I don't think he killed any ladies. Just saying.
Yep. CGC, they need to update that.
Yeah, they do.
First Janet, first appearance, first full player. Yeah.
Janet's
so she falls to the ground. The rest of the team, they're trying to figure out what to do from there, essentially. And and then I was thinking I was jumping ahead here. Was this like the part of the she ends up running through them and escaping, essentially running away, which I don't know how she just escaped that easy, because this was like full lockdown of a place, and she's just running out on the main.
It's a lot of flopping around.
I would also just assume there was way more than just 2, not just Harvey and Janet,
I don't know. And there seem to be hints at the idea that she has some of Emma's powers, so maybe I don't know,
she applied some,
how she's abusing that.
And meanwhile she's thinking about Jean Grey, or the kind of bubbles here that she's thinking about Jean Grey, and just thinking this was just like a little bit of a flashback towards the end here. I'm
so excited for this moment.
Go ahead, John. Share your thoughts here.
It's the return of the Rock. She's going to use a rock to pummel these guys. The Rock is back. They're going to use a rock to defeat these guys. Look at her picking up this thing. She's like, I'm gonna skull this guy. I'm gonna brain this guy. It's gonna be going down.
Yep.
The Rock is back.
That's part of the armory. That should basically be part of the armory at this point.
Surprised I don't see Dwayne right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this was a missed opportunity for that, for sure. I was thinking. I almost threw Little Mermaid back up here just because of the red. I for a second thought that was Ariel. Don't
shame Jean Grey by comparing her to the worst Disney princess.
I'm just saying, the worst. Shots fired. Shots fired. And then we get these last a couple here. So basically, Emma Frost going back to the school to go meet Kitty, and Kitty's completely shocked that that's her to begin with. She ends up knocking her out there, and then we get basically just ends the issue altogether. Albert, what was kind of your thoughts here on this final couple of panels?
I thought, her knocking her out, she didn't kill her. I mean, come on,
right?
Yeah. And I didn't say this in that last panel, but the Hellfire Gala minions, or whoever we're calling them. I loved that costume, maybe because of that, that epic Wolverine image.
Yes,
but I love it, and the mask just creeps me out so much. I feel like it'd be a great cosplay thing, at a convention, just because it seems kind of simple, just like a white. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There it is. There they are.
Wow.
I got you, Albert. I got you.
Great. Great.
I was ready for you.
Yeah. So I was just very happy to see that costume come back. Like I wasn't expecting it. I was
Yeah.
like, yes. But yeah, this was a great issue here. A great conclusion. I'm excited to read the next one. You know, it's keeping me hooked. This is good.
Yeah. I'm with you. John, what are your thoughts here on these final panels?
I mean, it's a great twist that she's going to try to rescue Kitty, but Kitty's like, "Get away from me, Emma Frost! You're a nightmare. I'm not interested in this." Yeah, to Albert's point, like, yeah, I'm not worried that Stemma has killed her in any way. Like, I'm not worried about that. But it's a nice, simple cliffhanger that sets us up.
Yep, agreed. Bobby likes the female Hellfire Guard. There you go.
Cosplay time.
So yeah, then that's gonna wrap it up. That's gonna wrap up 151. We'll get into some of these numbers here real quick. The only key element that I had initially put here was that Storm and Emma star in the change up, because that's kind of what this reminded me of. These two switching bodies here, essentially, which Bobby had mentioned Freaky Friday, which is another one very similar to that. But yeah, so these are there is one 9.9 out there on the census. I don't know if Chet owns it. I have a feeling he doesn't, but who knows? And then there's a 313 9.8. That's current fair market value of 210, with the 9.6s dropping to about 160. So there was nothing as of too recent. So I don't think anyone's really buying this particular issue as of lately. But yeah.
That's my Disney Princess rankings. I was helping Damien out. It's really just a 1 and a 2 and a 0. Like that. It's really just kind of like this 1, 2, and then like whatever 99 would be Ariel. That's great. The middle doesn't matter.
So yeah, this is kind of wrapping it up here. Any thoughts on the numbers here? Would you like a 9.8, John?
I mean, first appearance of Janet, I feel like it's worth it. I mean, in a lot of ways.
Second appearance of The Rock.
She's going to make an appearance on the MCU for sure. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
My feeling is this is, for me at least, not a cover that I need in a case. Like, I don't need to like put this up. So for me, I don't need a slabbed copy of this. I'm very happy with a raw.
Looks like a lot of people agree with you.
Yeah, big time.
It's not that I hate the cover. I'm just not a huge fan of it, especially when you have Sentinels in the book. Gotta have Sentinels on the cover. It's just true. It's a requirement for me.
True, I agree. Albert, any final thoughts here on some of the money that we're talking about?
Not on the money. So in the last page of the comic book, there's a letters page.
Oh yeah.
I took a quick glance. There was an interesting letter from a 14-year-old boy who said, "Hey, love the character of Kitty Pryde. She's marvelous." And or she's 13 and a half. He's like, "But I think she's too good or too goody-goody. I think she should," this is what he said, "she should get involved in drugs like marijuana and alcohol." And he said, I don't do those things. I'm not a pothead or a junkie. I'm clean. But I think it'd be nice for you to print. It's like, wow. Just thought that was fun. And he's 14. So he's connecting with the character. She's too good though.
That's funny. I do like to kind of flip through some of those, the X-mail as they call them. I took a screenshot. I should have thrown that in here, but that they do include that, which I like. They do include that in the actual omnibus as well. For anybody wondering, hey, we got Alter Ego in the house saying, "What are you guys reading next?" Well, I mean, technically after this is going to be X-Men 152 over on John's channel next Tuesday at 9:00 Eastern. So be there for
this
that.
Amazing Storm Emma Stemma cover where they're like battling each other. Look at that amazing.
Oh yeah,
splash page too.
Yep. Now that I definitely recognize that for sure. I mean, I've seen that. By the way, I do not own this issue 151, so I definitely am going to add this to my hunt list because I would like to own a copy of this because this was just a very fun read overall. So those are the slides there. Any other final thoughts on the story before we get into some of the questions there, or anything we didn't cover, or you think we're good here? John, Albert, you guys?
No, I'm good. It's a lot of fun, this issue, and it sets up another follow-up issue 152. It's part and parcel. So yeah, very happy with this return to form.
Nice. Manny says, I wonder if that kid still is collecting today. Hey, the full name's in there, right? Amy Cohen, is that it?
The kid's in the chat right now.
Yeah. We have a celebrity here. Yeah, look at that. Michael says, I really want this book now. I have a dog named Janet. I could read this to her. There you go. There's the connection. There, I love that. That's
Key
great.
first.
Yes. Yes, cat fight for sure. Bobby appreciates the letter that you read there, Albert. And yes, Alter Ego, you should definitely, and tune in over on John's channel for next week. So all right, we have questions, so don't go away quite yet. We got 13 people hanging, so appreciate everybody. But let's get into the questions here. Now we're going to ask 4 trivia questions. They're all based on the last issue from this omnibus that we read. So it was not 150, it was Marvel Fanfare issue 4. So that's where we're asking questions from. So be ready. We're looking for 2 correct answers. So when we ask the question, if you know the answer, put it in the chat. If you see someone else write the answer, still put it in the chat anyways, because you can be the second person. Yeah, totally copy and paste. And then, of course, we are also looking for funny answers. So whoever can make Albert laugh the hardest for each question is going to get their name entered into the raffle as well. So let's kick it off here. And John, I will start with you, my friend.
Yeah. So last we were in the Savage Lands. We were dealing with all kinds of monsters and things, specifically Sauron, not the giant eye from Lord of the Rings. No, the sort of dragon beast creature. And flies, has wings, battles Angel, defeats Angel. The question is, how does he defeat Angel? In which way, using what skills does he defeat one of the most useless X-Men? So explain, if you can, how does Sauron defeat Angel?
Oof, we're already getting
sandwich.
We're already getting detailed answers here.
I mean, that's great. A sandwich defeats a lot of X-Men, as we've seen. It's a
big time.
Very deadly weapon. Weakness that a lot of them share.
I want to play. I
was gonna say.
Albert, you've had some good.
Albert is nearing on 15 raffle tickets at this.
Is that right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you're at 14.
Nice.
You're right there.
This is the one downside, Albert, about being on the show is that it takes you out of the opportunity to.
Manny says he flies higher and with more style. That's how you get that East German judge to like what you do.
Nice.
Sove, you are correct. He does the eyeball thing. He does
the eyeball thing. He does.
I was gonna count it because it's just so descriptive. And then of course, Damien, Sleepy Reader with mesmerism, which he does. He mesmerizes him.
Yep.
And I don't know that I've got you on here anywhere, Sleepy Reader.
Is this Damien's first?
Damien might be your first go around, my good
Look
man.
at that.
I'm gonna write it in.
A competition now.
Very nice. Yeah. Albert's like, you're going down, Damien.
All right. So that's 2. Other comedy answers include the guy who's hard to beat, 62 Lefty Blue with the comedies. He says he breathes on him. And lastly, Bobby says he tells Angel his shoes are untied.
That trick always works. Always works.
Yeah, sucker. You can sucker him.
All right, I'm gonna go with he tells Angel your shoes untied.
Bobby.
Hey, Bob.
There it
All
is.
right, Bobby, that is your 16th.
Oh,
my good man,
nice. Albert's like, wait. I take that back. He's getting ahead of me now. All right, my first question that I have here is let's see which one I want to start with. Who shows up at the door when Brainchild is calling for his guards? It's during the fight that he has, the argument that he has with Storm, Brainchild, the one with the big brain, and so he's yelling, guards, come in here and take care of this. And as he opens the door, who shows up? There's somebody there. A bit of a surprise that he gets there.
That trick only works on Angel. Yeah, lots of things only work on Angel.
Yeah, you could also do the look, there's Elvis, and he'll fall for that too. Classic stuff.
More untied shoes from Manny. He finds untied shoes. Magic
The
Lasso.
Supremes. Always on brand, Ryan. Always on brand. Oh God, Magic Mike with his boombox.
I mean, all day. All day.
I get that all the
day.
time too. I get that all the time, Michael.
I don't
Bobby
think
says
that's not strange at all. Bobby.
Strangely enough. Yeah. I mean, no,
interrupting the good times.
Diana Ross. Yeah,
I only see one correct answer.
I see one.
Anybody
I do
could
see
copy
one.
and paste at this point. I think.
Yeah, we'll give it a few seconds here.
Get themselves some goodness. Remember, copy and paste works.
There's some great humor here.
That was good. That was good.
Even
Wow.
Bobby's
laughter here. Yeah. We got just waiting on one. Waiting on one
more correct answer. Do you have a favorite comedy answer there, Albert?
Magic Mike with a boombox. That had me dying. That was
Boom!
great.
There it is.
Oh, hilarious!
Michael on the board again. Nicely done.
I think so. Might be the funniest commenter just on all videos. This guy,
you gotta watch out for him.
All right, we have the correct answers here. The first one is Magic Lasso, and yes, it was Zabu. Zabu was the first, which is the companion to Kazar, the furry friend of his. And then 62 Lefty Blues is correct as well. So boom, there you go. All right, so we got them two down. Next question, John, over to you.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about Brainchild. Is that what he goes by?
Brainchild, yeah.
And how he was manipulating Storm. Off screen, apparently he had his minions dress Storm, change her costume, put her in a new costume, and I compared her new look to another pop culture figure. Who did I compare Storm's new look to? In what fashion was Storm now dressed?
See, I love these questions because you had to have actually watched the episode and not just read the book.
Can't just read it. You gotta hang with us.
Yeah. Where was John's brain here during this?
I mean, where's my brain? Usually?
Period.
This is fair. This is fair.
Oh, we get some Betty Page.
Oh my gosh, 62. It's not Borat in the Mankini.
In the Mankini.
I mean,
Bobby, this one's Diana Ross for sure. One of these is going to be Diana Ross.
We got two correct answers.
All right.
Shout out to this guy for coming up with this question because I had totally forgotten, and I'm glad.
It's a great
one. So Lasso, Slave Leia, yeah,
yes.
And Sove with part 2 on there.
Nice,
nailing it.
So
we also have Wilma Flintstone from J-Hood Creative, which is not far off.
It isn't. It isn't.
Wilma Flintstone at the beach, maybe.
Albert, any of these here that you like as the
Borat and the Mankini is very good.
All right, 62.
He's hard to beat on the comedy side.
It's true. It's his specialty.
It is indeed.
All right. We are coming up to the last question here. Last one that I have for you guys for tonight is, what did Wolverine do to Vertigo, the one of the mutants that we had discovered from last issue? What does Wolverine do to Vertigo during their fight in the end? It was the big epic fight. She's like one of the most
powerful villains in that whole storyline because she seems to take everybody out at different points. Like Spider-Man, doesn't matter. I got you all.
Except for The Rock. But yes, there's one thing that Wolverine does to Vertigo. What does Wolverine do to Vertigo in order to, or at the end of the fight, I should say. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for some answers, I want to remind everybody, make sure you're subbed up to Albert. Albert, we appreciate you, man, hanging out with us tonight, and certainly going to have you on again as we jump into season 3 later this year for sure. So always a pleasure, man.
Thank you, man.
Let's see. We got a couple. John winced
when I read his when I read his answer to my question.
Oh yeah,
it was wince-worthy.
Totally. Manny says he tripped her. Okay, all right.
Just stick that leg out.
Yeah. So says hit her in the head with a rock. You're often that it's not the character that you're thinking of. So that was from an earlier issue, I think. But yes, very, very close. Let's see. Bobby says he threw up on her.
I mean,
Wolvie does have a lot of beer, or drinks a lot of beer, so maybe
he might not be able to
wouldn't
hold
be
it
off. Yeah. 62.
I mean, I feel like this is a correct answer. I'm just saying.
Smith versus
I feel like you kind of. I don't know. I mean, it works in both categories.
It totally does. It totally does. Man, it says Cannonball Special. I like it. Cannonball Special. Magic Glasses says he made her a sandwich. I mean, that would be a way to take somebody out for sure.
That's fair.
She has that effect on people. Proposes marriage. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, I could see that.
Big move. Big bold move.
Yeah. He's like, marry me, bub. It's unmentionable on a PG-13 channel. Yeah.
Then we're on the right channel.
Yeah. Hit her in the head with the rock. Yeah, no, that you're thinking of Nightcrawler, Michael.
And
You're thinking of Michael. Yeah.
Lasso. Put her outfit on.
When was the last time he did that? Was that
102 or 103?
When they were out in space? When they were out in
space
yeah.
fighting?
Like 104. Yeah.
Oh my God. Wolverine kills a guy and just puts on his gear. I'm gonna skip you down and take you gear.
What was his name? Fang. I think that was his name. Fang.
So good.
Right?
Such a good moment
When he takes Fang's.
I still feel like 62 gets the point. I already gave it to him.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So the first one we had was Magic Lasso.
Yeah.
Punched her and knocks her out. That's correct. Definitely. I was looking for punched or knocked out. And so, yeah, 62 did it. A dueling, I mean, really could fit both categories, as John said. So we're going to give it to him as the correct answer. So you're the second to put in the correct answer. So a bit of pressure here on Albert because there are definitely some good ansers. I'll re-highlight some of these. So, yeah,
I'm going to say he threw up on her.
All right. Oh yeah, there you go, Bobby. There you go. You threw up on her.
That puts you at 17, my good man.
Nice. Yeah. Albert, shooting yourself in the foot, my friend. I love it. So there you have it. So we got everybody in. Appreciate everybody hanging out as always. And I want to again thank you, Albert, for joining us, man. You have anything coming up that you want to let the people know about before we close out?
I just finished reading the Fantastic Four Omnibus. I'm going to do a review of that on my Tiki Talk and Instagram. Nice. So I'm excited to share that.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
That's awesome, man. You keep rolling them out. I'm going to make sure I want to add your TikTok because I didn't add that before, but I'll add your TikTok link. But I know it could be found if you guys follow him over on Instagram or anything like that. You can find it over there as well. So yeah, keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. And I appreciate the video you made. That was a cool one that you made for us too, being that you were on the show tonight. So it was very cool. Okay. And then, of course, make sure you're following this guy. John, you got anything coming up here? I put John's information down below as well.
I'm always dropping little TikToks and such and whatnots here and there. I do have
movie suggestions.
I will say I've got a contest going, but I'm not going to tell you what videos and I'm not going to tell you how to enter because one of those videos has like 30 views and 7 comments. And those are the people that are in. So you got to find it. You got to figure it out where it's happening and how it's happening, because I guarantee you Coach Vic is going to win something. That dude found all 3 locations and entered in all 3 spots. And I'm really close to ending it. When I hit 4K on Instagram, I'm cutting it. It's done. And I'm just going to go through and celebrate some winners.
Cool. I'm going to go unfollow John right now after this. Very cool. All right. So yes, make sure you're following John. I put his information down below as well. We're going to be over on John's channel next week at 9:00 Eastern. We have a special guest lined up for that as well. John, is that right?
Let me double check.
Oh yes, 152. We're going with JD. Raging Cajun Comics is going to be.
There you go. See.
So that'll be 9:00 Eastern. Yes, John's like, that's why I keep you around.
Yeah, we got JD, then Fable, then Paul, PJ.
That's right.
And then Magic Lasso to
close it out. Yeah. And then we're gonna have kind of a party at the end after that episode. So definitely, keep coming back as we close out the summer here, or the season 2 technically. Maybe we'll have some people jump on with us as well. But we have a lot of giveaways, including the artwork that I showed earlier, and John's gonna have his mystery box as well for these raffles. So it'll be a lot of fun, just like that first season was. We had a great time. So So again, appreciate everybody who's been hanging with us. If you're watching the replay right now, thank you as well. Take some time and smash that like button on the way out. Make sure you're subbed up to everybody. And until next time, we will talk to you later.